Hi, and welcome back. So now we're going to look at the writing the story. We're going to actually get into writing now. If you go to the writing the story section on the Moodle website, you'll see that there are two parts. The first one is first, second, and third, and the other one is character-driven story. So if you haven't already looked at it, can you read through the first, second, and third part? And then once you've done that, and you've thought about how you're going to write your story, then come back here and I'll talk you through the character-driven story section. Great. Glad you've done that. Welcome back. So, character-driven story. Who's writing your story? Are you going to write it? Yes and no. What do I mean by that? So, if your character has a lot of depth, if you believe that your character almost exists, then one way to write a story is to start by thinking about them, and you imagine them in a situation, and you already know roughly some things that are going to happen or what you're going to write about, and you start by describing the situation that the character is in, and then maybe what they're thinking about, what they're doing, describe a little bit. Don't make it too boring, but so that you're imagining that you're in that situation, or that they're in that situation, and then you start writing what happens next. That's really the whole process. Now, as long as you always follow what you think your character would do, you'll find that the story starts to guide itself. So in that sense, the character should be writing the story. I know that sounds a bit weird. Once you try it, you'll probably find it works, or maybe you won't. So if we look at the website on character-driven story, read through that information, try to keep things simple. There are a couple of examples in there. So you might start with your character in an unusual situation. So I've written, Ashley looked down at the dog below, saliva dripping from its mouth as it barked and snarled. She felt like vomiting. Her hands were sweaty and her foot was slipping. The damp smell of the tree was slightly comforting, but her arms were starting to ache. So a couple of things there. One, the situation, I've decided to start with drama in that beginning. You don't have to, but I did. And from there, you can you have a situation. Obviously, you can now explain why she's in the tree, or you could explain what's going to happen next. But you have a point at which to start the story. I think having an interesting or a clear starting point is a good way of giving yourself an opportunity to actually start to tell your story. Now, the other example I've given is, I lay on the sofa looking at the ceiling. What is the point of a computer-free day? I asked myself. I got up and wandered into my bedroom. Then I remembered the note that I'd found in the pocket of my school bag after school. I got the note out and read it again. That could go anywhere. Who knows what's going to happen next in the story? But as you write, you just imagine new things and you try and write it. The important thing is to keep reading what you're writing and go back over it so that it follows a logical order, that things connect. As long as you write in a nice, clear way, it'll be fairly easy for people to interpret. Now, the task, what I'd like you to do before Wednesday is to start writing your story. Write as much as you can. You don't have to write lots and lots and lots if you don't really feel like writing. The important part is to feel like writing. If you're not feeling like it, it's quite hard to do. I want you to sit down, read through your character notes, and then start writing from that situation, from the plot notes that you've made, and let's see how you go. You can write on paper with a pencil, or you can use a program like Word, whatever works for you. And then on Wednesday, we'll look at what we've written. If you want to send me work, you're welcome to do. I will put a assessment bar in here. That just means that you can upload work if you want. So you can scan it, or you can use a mobile phone, take a picture of it and upload it to Moodle, or upload the file to Moodle if you're doing it in Word, and then I can read through it and I can let you know. I'm not at this stage, we're not worrying about details like spelling and the punctuation. I'm thinking more about style and sticking with your character. The main thing for me when you're writing is the first thing you want to do is get the story out. Write the story down. Don't keep stopping to check your spelling. Just write it down. And then later, through a process of editing and looking at the ideas, we can fine-tune it and make it better. And when I say fine-tune it, I mean rewriting things because they don't work right, or because we want to tidy up how we've said something, or because our spelling is terrible. You have plenty of time to do all those things. So the main thing is don't rush it. Let the story happen, and it should be fun. Be imaginative. The story doesn't have to be, and probably shouldn't be, like any story you've ever read. It should be the story you want to read, and that's why you're writing it. If you have any questions, send me an email, benjamin.horn@education.wa.edu.au. Good luck with it. Let me know if you have any problems, and have a great weekend. Thank you, and goodbye.